So apparently a good meeting this morning.
Yes.
I'll start.
Good morning. We'll call the Tippecanoe County Drainage Board meeting to order. The first item on the agenda is the approval of the July 12th meeting minutes.
Mr. President, I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second?
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right, our first project for today, Buckingham.
Yes, we have a commercial apartment complex project named Buckingham Properties. I believe someone from Kimberly Horn's here to present.
If you could just hit the button. Yep, you're good.
Grant Ellington with Kimley Horn, presenting the Buckingham Jaeger project, which is not the one on the screen there. But it's about a 37-acre parcel. There.
There we go.
That's the drainage report cover.
Go over to the map. There you go. That's good.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's about a 37-acre parcel being prepared for development for multifamily apartments.
Very good. Can you talk a little bit about the vacation of the county regulated drain that we discussed, and what's the timeline on that? I know I didn't see the petition, and we'd had a meeting talking about maybe that would lag behind. What's the status and the current intent?
Yeah, we are making plans for that. It's in the conditional approval from the review entity, Burke, and that is going to be completed once the owner has taken possession of the parcel.
Okay. And then is the road dedication for the connector road into Hadley Moores, does that need to be tied up? I realize that's not necessarily part of this, but what is the status there?
I'm not sure on that because it's
Okay.
not actually part of this project specifically.
Okay.
Can you come up to the mic? Can you come up to the mic so it's recorded? Thank you.
Hi, Josh Nixon, Kimley Horn. The developers stated that they're willing to delay and push back the platting process in order to get that roadway incorporated in that, so it is going to be included on the primary plat
Okay,
moving forward.
thank you. And so what does the red line up here indicate?
It's just a different color line. It's not a very good answer, is it? It's part of the regulated drain, but it's shown inaccurately. It was supposed to be changed, but apparently it wasn't. So the opaque or beige line that runs diagonal across the site is part of the Simeon Jaeger County regulated drain. This red line is also part of the Simeon regulated drain. It's being shown as being maintained, but it is not, and nor is the other portion, which is correctly shown. So it's, as I said, both part of the semi-regulated drain, but we have, which is not maintained because they are looking, or what I was referring to earlier, this, the drain that crosses their project, which is the Simeon Jaeger drain, they will be presenting in the future a petition to vacate this county regulated drain on their site, so, which is what I was referring to earlier. So that will be non-existent soon.
Okay.
Any other questions?
I think so. All right. Any other
Thank you.
comments?
No, I'm good. I would, we would recommend, the surveyor's office would recommend, I think, conditional approval as stated on the July 27th, 2023 review memo.
So move.
Second?
Is there any public comment in regard to this petition? All right. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right. Thank you. Indiana American Water.
And I believe that DLZ is here to present this project. This is a new elevated water tower for Indiana American Water Company. It's located just north of Cumberland Avenue and west of Klondike Road, just immediately south of the Point West Trailer Park and immediately west of the Lafayette Lemo location. So I'll turn it over to DLZ.
Good morning. My name is Tony Kenning with DLZ. With me, I have Frank Stewart with DLZ. We're here presenting on behalf of Indiana American Water for an elevated water tower to be excuse me, to be located on the on a parcel that is currently going through the minor subdivision process, shown by the black highlighted arrow at that point. It's about 650 feet north of the intersection of Cumberland and Klondike. The parcel is within the Indian Creek watershed, so it's a more restrictive release rate. We have been working for the past month or two with the County Surveyor's Office and your engineer, Butler Fairman, to make sure that the release rates and everything comply with the ordinance. The water tower is being created, obviously, for the purposes of providing additional water storage, for drinking water storage, and improve the reliability for the citizens in the area that are the customers of Indiana American. So, as you can see, it is in the Indian Creek watershed, and I think if you go to the next slide, please. It is located, the water tower is going to be a concrete pedestal, so it's going to be formed concrete going vertically upward, and then they're going to raise a steel bowl around to the top of it, and the steel bowl is what you see as the dashed red line there. A large portion of the site, because of the restrictive release rates, has become stormwater detention, and you can see that by the highlighted blue.
It's practically an island.
It is. It is. The site is flat, and the detention gets spread out. So, with that, I guess I'd entertain any questions that you might have.
How big of a tower? Just curious. I mean, gallon-wise.
Gallon-wise, it'd be 1.5 million gallons.
Thank you.
So pretty substantial. It's a sizable water tower, sure.
Oh, it is dry. Okay.
Yeah, the blue is right. I don't mean to mislead anybody. It's not going to be a pretty water feature necessarily.
Very good, thank you. Only thing I have to say is, and he stated this, it is part of the Indian Creek Drainage Impact Resolution, and they are complying as needed for that area. And as Michelle stated, it is a dry detention basin. Just in additional, there will be remaining property on this site, and I'm assuming we will see it at some point in time. But other than that, I'm happy to answer any questions, but we would recommend approval or construction approval as stated on the July 27th, 2023 memo.
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Is there any public comment on this request? Seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes.
Thank you very much.
All right. Resolution establishing is it Simeon Yeager Impact Drainage Area?
Yeah, Simeon, I'm not entirely sure exactly the correct pronunciation, but we embarked on a hydraulic and hydrology study on this watershed several months ago, and quickly discovered that the current release rates in the Tippecanoe County Stormwater Drainage Ordinance was not restrictive enough in this particular watershed for future development. If we would allow them to continue to develop per the ordinance, we could have overtopping on Yeager Road, County Road 140 West, I believe is the number, which would be roughly half a mile or so south of County Road 500 North. So that is the reason and need for this drainage impact resolution. It is 0.34 CFS per acre. So any future development in the area would need to comply with that release rate. And I forgot to mention it when Buckingham was up here, but they are complying with that release rate. Myself and representatives from Burke Engineering have met with Kimley Horn and Buckingham representatives multiple times, and so they are aware of that and are in compliance with this. So I'd be happy to answer any questions, but I would recommend the Drainage Board approve this resolution as presented.
Zach, do you know, how many impact areas do we have?
We have the Indian Creek, we have Jan Kirkpatrick, Burlowitz, I think, has one, and the AROS, 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yes, I forgot about the Hafner. Yeah, we did pass one on the Hafner. That was done before I was county surveyor. That was done when the new Battleground Elementary Middle School was completed on 600 West, or I'm sorry, 600 North, just immediately west of, or northwest of Harrison High School. So that's that take 5?
That's 5.
Yeah. This would be the 6th one.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mr. President, I move that we approve Resolution 2023-02-DB establishing the impact drainage area.
Second.
Okay, is there any public comment in regard to the resolution? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right, other business.
So the first item under other business, in 2019, the landowners in the Lewis Jakes County Regulated Drain Watershed, which in Tippecanoe County is located in the general geographical area of Morehouse Road and 725 north, up to about 850 north, I believe, and 250 west, I believe, in that general area, which is the very upper stream, or well, one of the upper reaches of Indian Creek. The water from this watershed does flow into Indian Creek. But they petitioned for the county regulated drain to be reconstructed. And like as I said, my office received it in 2019, and it was presented to the Drainage Board. There was multiple landowners that signed it. The current county regulated drain is approximately 4,500 to 5,000 foot of open ditch and a mile and a half or so of subsurface clay and concrete tile. The open ditches was reconstructed about 10, 15 years ago. The tile has not been reconstructed, and there's portions of it north of the open ditch, and specifically between Morehouse Road and County Road 375 West, I believe is the road number. It's the next road immediately west of Morehouse Road. In that area, the tile is in very poor condition, crack quartered, fell in on itself. Water is coming out of the tile, running across the surface of the ground, causing erosion. And so there is a need for reconstruction on this. However, as I said, the landowners did petition the Drainage Board, the County Surveyor's Office, to do a reconstruction. Myself and staff, once the petition was presented to the Drainage Board in 2019, the board referred it back to myself as the County Surveyor for a reconstruction report. Since that time, myself and staff have done many different tasks, a couple of which we went on to the properties in the watershed. We did exploratory digging to investigate the tile in multiple locations and put together, took that data, put together a reconstruction estimate and a draft set of construction plans to replace the county regulated main tile and then also the branches. I held a informal hearing, or, well, I shouldn't call it a hearing, an informal meeting, rather, here in this room, actually, in June of this year. I don't have the exact date, but it was early June of 2023. We had a great meeting with the landowners. There were many landowners here, and I have all that information, sign-in sheet, if anybody would ever want to see it. I asked the landowners, so I presented to the landowners the options to reconstruct the tile and the associated costs, and I asked them to get back with me within, 30 days or so on if they wanted me to proceed to a reconstruction hearing or not. So since that time, I have heard from easily over 80% of the benefited acres in the watershed. And just for general information, the watershed is 1,234 acres. And so, as I said, I've heard back from easily over 80%. The landowners, the majority of them, as I mentioned, over 80%, have now decided that they do not want to pursue a reconstruction. Basically, the two items that was given to me was the high cost of the reconstruction, and also one of the things that was presented to me from some of the landowners was they felt the rate of return may not be sufficient because their thought process is that town may come to them and houses may be built on some of their ground before they get their return on their investment, which may or may not be true, I don't know. But the bottom line is that, at least since I've been county surveyor since 2010, we've, as many of you know, we've had many of these reconstruction petitions and reconstruction hearings, and we've done many of these projects. This is the first one that I know of that the landowners that signed the petition all withdrew their name in support of moving forward. So with that, I felt that it would be prudent for me to do my due diligence to present this to the board. Several of the landowners asked me to say what I just said. They wanted to be in record as to why they didn't want to proceed. And so as a matter of tying up loose ends, I felt like it needed to be in the drainage board meeting minutes, so whomever moving forward, when they come back and research this later, they'll know what happened. And so I would ask that the board, dissolve the petition, and so there's record of this dissolving of the petition. I'm happy to answer any questions, but that's, in a nutshell, the story.
Zach, do you happen to have a map of this so that I can just take a look at that?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Here's the preliminary plans. So
Okay. All right, cool.
there you go. All the red line is the tile network that was proposed to be replaced. And so Morehouse Road is right here.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's
Okay.
850 and there's 725, or 750, I'm sorry. So that's the area.
So I don't have a problem with us
You
withdrawing.
want to see this?
Yeah, I want to glance at withdrawing this. My question is now that, Zach, with the tile that's out there and the holes that are breaking and everything else, is the maintenance fee keeping up with trying to patch and Band-Aid is going?
There's no way, no.
So.
And I would argue.
And look at the maintenance fee instead also to try and keep what's supposedly there working, or?
Possibly, if the landowners want to. Here is my professional opinion on that. I've had this exact same conversation with the landowners, and my professional opinion and judgment is that be very, very careful doing that, because you're throwing good money away.
Right.
You're putting Band-Aids on something that your return on your investment doing that is pretty much zero. And the reason why is that tile is in such poor physical condition. It's way past its life cycle. And so if you put a piece of new plastic in and you try to connect it to the next joint or next section of old tile, you connect to it 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 days, the next section falls in. You got a hole right beside the new tile that you just put in. And so you get into, a dog chasing its tail sort of thing. It's not productive typically, and I've seen that and witnessed it from experience. So I would caution against doing that.
Okay, so if the tile's basically completely shot, would it be worth just to vacate the tile and just keep the open ditch?
Well, that is a possibility. I did not discuss that with the landowners. I don't think that's what the landowners want to do.
I'm going to assume not, but
But yeah, I mean, we could ask. My thought process was we would leave it and we'd use the maintenance money to take care of the open ditch. If there are areas of, say, branch tiles, because there's a few of the branches that are still functioning to where they're not actually just breaking down and running across the ground. We could use maintenance money on those. I think that would be a good expenditure. But in the area from, and particularly or specifically what I'm talking about is the area from Morehouse Road over to, what is that, 350, I think, heading west.
going that way.
Yeah, so right before it enters the Pearl property on
Okay.
350 West. That stretch from there up to Morehouse, yes, to Morehouse Road, that stretch is in horrendous condition. Any maintenance money spent on that, in my opinion, is a waste of time and money. Because it's broke down so bad, it's blowing out of the tile and running across, and a lot of the tiles are washed out, has no cover over it, and so it's just bare, and it's got trees growing up all around it. I don't see that being a good expenditure. Now, on some of the branch tile, I don't have a problem spending money on it. So as far as the maintenance fund, I think the maintenance fund can be utilized to maintain some of the system, but there are specific runs of tile, one I've just mentioned, I would not think it would be a good use of money.
Okay, you'll see it. Okay, thank you.
So just procedurally, you're not dissolving the petition. The sort of the legal function of the petition is to advance a project up on your long-term priority list. Internally, we use it to gauge landowner support. So that petition has already served its function in terms of you referred it to the surveyor. So what you're doing now, if you proceed with this recommendation, is just simply withdrawing the referral to the surveyor. So you referred it to him for a report. He's not going to proceed with the report the way the statute talks about, so you're withdrawing that referral.
Hearing that, Mr. President, I move that we withdraw the petition of the Lewis Jakes reconstruction.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? That passes. All right. Anything else?
Mr. Chairman, I do have one other item. Wanted to inform the board and the public that the Benton County Drainage Board has contacted myself, and I hope that they copied all of you on the notification also. But for the meeting minutes, thank you. Benton County Drainage Board will hold a bi-county drainage board hearing on August the 15th at 9:15 a.m. in the Benton County Courthouse in the Commissioner's Room. This will be regarding the Darby-Wetherill County Regulated Drain Watershed, which is split between Benton County and Tippecanoe County. So I just wanted to make sure, as a public announcement, I want to make sure that was announced. Happy to answer any questions. I do have one other update for the board. The lower Elliott two-stage ditch project is coming along very well. So we're about 80 to 85% complete with that. So I think Mr. Murtaugh mentioned that a field trip might be nice. We will get on that and see if we can get that established here yet this month.
Cool.
That's all I have for today.
All right. Thank you, Zach. Is there any public comment? All right. Seeing none.
Move to adjourn.
All right. We are adjourned.